it's a woman's best interest to hunt, to be the nastiest, sluttiest versions of themselves with the man that they want.
Sure.
How does this serve a long-term interest?
So the hunting is not necessarily related to being the nastiest, sluttish version of yourself, which I changed the language of that in the book to the richest, creamiest milk that you can provide. But we can use that whatever language you prefer because I've said both. Um, the reason those two things are not at odds with one another, for the simple reason that we live in a society, for better or for worse, in which sex precedes commitment. Right? Like you don't marry someone before you sleep with them.
Yeah.
I don't think there are vanishingly few people who expect that in today's day and age.
But there's also, I guess, people who are religious where that kind of becomes like the incentive in a way.
Sure, I've dated religious girls. None of them were virgins. Maybe they had
Fair
lower
enough.
maybe they had lower body counts than some of the other women, but like
In fact, sometimes they're probably the nastiest, sluttiest.
mm, they sometimes, but also sometimes they're actually very inexperienced and they think that their lower body counts are just like inherently valuable, which it
Mm,
can be. Like sexual jealousy is something that triggers a lot of men, but also like they this is a double standard that men should need to examine. They want a woman to be pure, virginal, or at least have a low body count, but they also want her to like do all kinds of nasty, slutty things for him. And how is she going to know how to do those things?
mm,
She doesn't. She doesn't know how to do them. So the idea is that some women like intuitively know how to do this, even though they've never actually done it with anybody in their lives, and they're just waiting for the right man to
mhm,
enact that with. I think is wrong. So it's like if you want someone who's good at sex, you probably need an experienced person, whether that's a man or a woman, and that obviously comes with pros and cons. So it's like everything is a trade-off. You can't get everything. But sex precedes commitment. Okay, so what I talk about is that one of the best ways for women to get married, to get into a significant relationship, is to act as if that's the furthest thing from their minds.
mm,
There's this idea that's floating around about intentional dating, which is sort of like and it kind of makes sense on the surface, like it makes some rational sense, but that's not how people actually make decisions in the sexual marketplace. The idea here is I'm just going to tell you what I want. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I am an INTJ. I'm a Leo with a Cancer ascendant. My love languages are gifts and acts of service. Like I'm just going to give you all this information about who I am and what I'm looking for, so that we don't have to waste any time. And that just generally doesn't work.
mm,
It doesn't work for a number of reasons. One is it actually makes the dating process extremely explicitly transactional.
mm.
It makes it into a job interview, which most people do not want to feel. Like one of the cardinal sins is making the transaction at the heart of romantic relationships too explicit. Neither the man or the women really want that.